Okay, now we're continuing yesterday's lesson on multiplication. Now we're dividing powers, but just make separate notes, okay? If you want to change the example, you can. Change this to example 1, for instance, okay? So now we're dividing with exponents. So this completely makes sense if you think about it this way. When we multiply exponents, so let's say I have 4 to the power of 2 times 4 to the power of 3. When I multiply exponents, right, I add the exponents together. Because what are we saying here? 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So we're multiplying 4 5 times. We're multiplying 4 5 times. Give me a second. Let me get this right. There we go. So that would be our answer, right? So think about it now. When you multiply exponents, you add the exponents. Well, what do we do when we divide? Isn't division the opposite of multiplication? It's the inverse property. Or I'm sorry, the inverse operation. Yes, it is. So, what's the inverse operation of addition? Subtraction. So, instead of adding the exponents, we're going to subtract them. So this is showing you the long way. Just like I showed you, this is showing you the long way, okay? Just like I showed you yesterday, the long way would be to write it out all like this, right? So what this means is you multiply 4 2 times and 3 more times, and you get a total of multiplying 4 5 times, right? This is written out the same way now. So now we're multiplying -5 3 times. So -5 times -5 times -5, and that's over multiplying -5 once. So it's just 1 -5, okay? In division, when we divide, we can cancel out. So -5 and -5, those cancel each other out, right? So what do I have left? Nothing on the bottom. I don't have any number at all on the bottom. Unless you want to consider it a 1, that's fine. But any number divided by 1 is going to be the same number. And on the top, what do I have? 2 -5s. So now I have -5 to the second power. Okay? So, another way to do this would have been to take -5, that's your base, the exponent 3, minus the exponent on the bottom, which is 1, equals -5 to the power of 2, or -5 squared. Okay? Let's look at another example. We're going to call this example 2. This is still example 1, sorry, but it's letter B. All right? So we have 6 to the power of 4 divided by 6 to the power of 3. So, I want to show you what it looks like. 6 to the power of 4 means 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Over 6 to the power of 3 means 6 times 6 times 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So we can leave that. 6 divided by 6 again is 1. 6 divided by 6 again is 1. Now I don't have any more I can cancel out. Right? So I just have 1 6. Then my answer is 1 6. And we don't have to say 6 to the power of 1. Right? We don't have to put that. We don't have to put the 1. All right? So, let's look at this again now for a second. This is what I want to show you. If I were to separate all this out, it would look like 6 over 6 times 6 over 6 times 6 over 6, sorry, times 6 over 1. Right? 6 over 6 is the same as 1. 6 over 6 is the same as 1. 6 over 6 is the same as 1. And 6 over 1 is the same as 6. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 6 is 6. Your answer is 6. Right? I'm showing you why we cancel these out. The reason these cancel out is because 6 over 6 is just 1. And anytime I multiply a number times 1, I'm not changing the number. So we don't have to do that. So we can just cancel them out. Canceling them out is the same as subtracting them. So we can just subtract them. 4 sixes minus 3 sixes is only 1 6. 1 6 is 6. Okay? Now example 2. Okay, what happens when we have a variable? Same rule applies. The variable belongs to, the exponent belongs to the variable unless there's parentheses. Okay? So this means 2 times n times n times n times n times n. This means 4 times n. The two n's cancel out. 2 over 4 can be reduced. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So what do I have left on the top? I have 1 times n times n times n times n. So I have n raised to the power of 4. Do we need the 1 here? No, we really don't. We don't have to put 1 when it's a coefficient, right? And here, 2 times, 1. So just 2. I'm sorry, 1 over 2. Sorry, my mistake. 1 over 2 times n to the 4th power, which, by the way, is the same as my answer, okay? So 1 over 2, the way they did it, same thing, no big deal. Sorry, but it's 2 different answers, but the same thing. So here, they separated out the coefficients. So they wrote 2 over 4. They multiply that by n raised to the power of 5 and n by itself, right? We'd have 1 n over here. Okay? 2 over 4 reduces to 1 over 2 when you divide by 2. We're just reducing a fraction, same that we've done many times before. Reduce the fraction to 1/2. And then we're multiplying that times n raised to a power 5, because we have the 5 here, minus 1, because we have 1 n here. 5 minus 1 is 4, so n raised to the power of 4. Okay? So there's your answer. We already did these scattered practices, so we'll go to these now. Okay. So we'll call this number 1. 3 over 4 divided by 3 over 2. So we're multiplying 3 4 times. Then we're multiplying 3 twice. We can cancel out that, and we can cancel out that. So what we have left is 2 3's. 3 raised to the power of 2. The other way to do it is 3 to the power of 4 minus 2, or 3 to the power of 2. I'm just afraid that you guys, this is just a step that you won't remember, is what I'm afraid of. So I think this way is something you'll remember that makes sense. I think that multiplying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 makes sense. And 3 to the power 2 is 3 times 3. That makes sense to you. All right? So I think I'd rather you do it that way if that's what makes sense to you. Okay? 8 to the power of 6 over 8 to the power of 5. So that's 6 eighths and 5 eighths. Cancel them out. And we have 1/8 left. Or 8 to the power of 6 minus 5 is 8 to the power of 1, or just 8. Negative a 5 times. Over negative a 2 times. And negative and a negative, positive, those cancel out, these cancel out. Now I have 3 negative a's, so I have negative a to the power of 3. Or you can do negative a to the power of 5 minus 2 equals negative a to the power of 3. I have 3 over 6 times x to the power of 4 over x to the power of 2. 3 over 6 can be reduced to 1/2. You just divide both by 3. If I divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here, I get 1/2. Times x to the power of 4 minus x to the power of 2 minus 2 is 1/2 x to the power of 2. Just so that you know, I want you to know this, x squared divided by 2 is the same as half of x squared. These mean the same thing. We've talked about this before. Dividing a number by 2 is the same as multiplying the number, this means multiplication here, by 1/2. That's the same thing. So these two answers are the same. And that's it. So you guys have a great night, and I'll see you